Let's take a look at some of the guys specifically on that defense that would be affected if you kind of move away from that style of defense. First one you got is a linebacker who played really well this year, Devin Bush.
Well, Devin Bush is better when you're going to see him right here. Watch how he reacts. 30 is going to see the ball, and he's downhill. And that he attacks the ball carrier, and he's so good at attacking downhill. That's what he does best. Now, the thing, and you see Grant Delpit's out there as well, and both of these guys are guys that are important here. And here's what I want to tell you about, when people say this defense is loaded. It is. And Myles Garrett, Carson Schlesinger, Denzel Ward, they will all be fine whatever scheme there is. But guys like Devin Bush, he had a career year because of the scheme, because of this right here. He gets to run downhill after that defensive line causes a mess and just be an athlete and make tackles. And this is what he does best. It's what Delpit does best. These guys won't be as good. They weren't as good in a different scheme. It's already been shown. So to say that it will be the same, I just disagree.
All right, the next guy that we're going to take a look at is a guy they acquired specifically for this scheme, and that's Tyson Campbell, cornerback.
So he traded with Newsome, and you're going to see him here up at the top, and you're going to see what he does best. He's on an island. He's in man coverage. Aaron Rodgers is going to go after him, and he just doesn't have it. And you saw this all year. He also, during the season, he had run fits, which means he was in charge of C and D gap, where he had to play the run. And he was very, very physical. Where he struggles in zone coverage. That's why he struggled before he got to Cleveland, because he was in a zone coverage where he's not, doesn't play to his skill set. This is a man coverage guy with elite cover skills. He's big enough to play in the box if needed, super tough, and he wants to be one-on-one. If you're in zone, he'll be okay, but he won't play at this level. He played at almost a Pro Bowl level, in my opinion, because he was in man coverage. This is another guy that really thrived in the Schwartz scheme and will not thrive as well, in my opinion, if he has to play more zone.
All right, and again, Campbell did play really well after being acquired from the Jaguars. Another guy, kind of mentioned him, Grant Delpit. Take us through what you think with him.
Well, Delpit's been great. Delpit is the best when he's down in the box. You can see him on the line of scrimmage here, and what he's going to do is going to set the edge right there. And that looks like a little thing, but he turned it into his teammates. And you're going to see him here. He's outside. He's got to keep his left arm free to make sure that ball goes inside so Schlesinger can make the tackle. That's what a good D guy does. You're going to see him here, same thing. He's going to attack the edge. He's going to set the edge. And that's what it means to set the edge. It means you make the running back go inside. And by doing that from the line of scrimmage, from the second level, this is team defense. He also makes a lot of plays down in there. You're going to see him here as he's going to rotate right there. He's going to act like he's going to jump the route. And the reason he jumps the route is because they hide disguised coverage. Still one high hat, and he makes plays. Delpit, without question, is better when he's down around the box. And in this scheme, the one high hat scheme, he's outstanding down in the box. Now, he played some of the one high hat. He also played some cover two in their nickel and in true pass situations. But when he has to play on the half, if you bring in a defense coordinator who plays cover two with a two shell all the time, Grant Delpit is 1/10 of the player he is. Grant Delpit is a potential all-pro kind of guy down in the box. At the half, he's not. And this Schwartz scheme fits him, and not a lot of people run it, especially like Schwartz.
All right, the fourth and final one that we're going to take a look at, guys that if they change from Jim Schwartz's defensive scheme would be impacted. Malik Collins, that was a guy that Andrew Berry brought in, and before he got hurt, he was a nightmare inside.
All pro this year, without question. You're going to see him here take on a double, turn his body into the double, and work down the line of scrimmage. So he played the run really, really well. You're going to see him here. This is where he turns it loose. He's in a wide three. They create a one-on-one with him with the guard. He's going to spin off the guard. He's going to run into the back. You can see the mess he causes. And I would actually say this. They spent the early pick on Mason Graham because of Mason Graham's ability. Now, Mason Graham's a bigger guy, and he'll play okay. He played a two-gap scheme in Michigan, but you saw his ability to play in this gap-penetrating scheme as well. So now you bring in a guy who Graham will be fine. Malik Collins, you're taking away what he does best if you make him play on the line of scrimmage, which most defensive coordinators want you to do. They want you to play on the line of scrimmage on first and second down, eat two blockers, and let the linebackers run free. That's Malik Collins doesn't thrive in that, nor does Mason Graham. nor does Shelby Harris, nor does, all these guys they have. Michael Hall absolutely does not play well in the line of scrimmage. He's a penetrating guy. So this scheme, this defensive line goes from really, really deep to not deep at all if they have to play at the line of scrimmage. Again, a very big factor if Schwartz is not the defensive coordinator, which I'd be absolutely shocked if he is.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't see a scenario where he comes back. The other thing I would say, this team won 5 games, and they have likely the defensive player of the year in Myles Garrett. He hasn't won that in any other year, and Jim Schwartz isn't the only guy he's played for, but every year his game has progressed defensively under Jim Schwartz to where he is the defensive player of the year. And they have the defensive rookie of the year in Carson Schlesinger. Both those guys are going to be impacted if you change the system.
Yeah, and Schlesinger's another guy, and I take this from Dan Labby from cleveland.com, one of my coworkers, and he always says the defensive line, I love this, they get to clean up. And what that means is that they get to play downhill. They don't have to read as much. They're in charge of one gap, just like the defensive line, and they get to clean up the mess. They get to almost cover kicks, and Schlesinger's great at that. He had 170 tackles or whatever it is because he got to clean up, and he's a sure tackler. So if he has to read and react more, he'll still probably be fine, but this scheme really fits him. And that's what you get, and this is what you want when you get stability within a phase of football. So he's been around. Schwartz has been around a couple years. They've drafted for him. They've traded in free agency to get guys that fit this scheme, and now you're getting the results of it. And I say this without hesitation after being involved with football for 45 plus years. If the offense and special teams play at an average level, and just a little above average, this defense will be generational because they'll get more passing opportunities to interception to get sacks, and they won't have to cover short fields. This defense can be really good, and it's a shame if Schwartz is not in charge because it won't be the same.